Welcome to the Deep Dive.
Hello.
Today, we're plunging into something pretty fascinating, definitely one of the most, well, complex concepts in Dragon Ball, autonomous Ultra Instinct.
Yeah, it really is. It's a state that kind of goes beyond just power and speed, doesn't it? It pushes things to what, well, the sources we looked at call the absolute peak of martial arts.
Exactly. And we've gathered quite a bit here, detailed wikis, Goku's power progression. Our mission today is really to unpack all that for you.
Sort of cut through the, the layers and get to the heart of it.
Yeah, what is this ability? Why is it such a, well, a game changer?
Think of this as your shortcut, maybe. A way to really get a handle on this technique, the mechanics, why it's so tough, and, its place in the whole story.
Okay, so let's just start right there. What is autonomous Ultra Instinct? I know it's got a few names flying around. Mastery of self-movement. Secret of selfishness.
Right. At its core, the sources describe it as this incredibly rare, very advanced state. It's mental, it's physical, it's called the absolute peak for, well, serious martial artists.
And the main idea, which still kind of blows my mind, is the user's body moving without the conscious mind telling it to. Like each limb just reacts.
That's the key part, the independence. See, normally any action, dodging, punching, whatever, needs that signal from the brain down the nerves to the muscles.
Right.
And even for someone incredibly fast, there's still a tiny delay there, just a fraction of a second, but
enough for a top-tier fighter to exploit.
Exactly. Ultra Instinct just, well, skips that step entirely. The body sees the threat, reacts instantly, perfect move, perfect timing.
Wow. So your body could be dodging something lethal while your brain is still, like, processing the last move.
Pretty much, yeah. It's interesting, too, that Japanese name, Migate no Gokui, literally it's like secret of the self-centered.
Huh. Self-centered.
But the context, you see, it really implies the body just moving on its own as it wants, trusting its own instinct, not waiting for orders. The body becomes, self-reliant in its movement.
Okay, so that independence.
Yeah.
That leads right into why this isn't just some power-up you learn overnight.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting. The sources really hammer home how difficult this is.
Oh, notoriously difficult. We're talking about something that even challenges gods. Like Beerus, a god of destruction, struggles with it.
So it's not just about being strong then?
Not at all. It's about extreme self-control, like a really refined level of it. You have to let go of conscious thought, stop analyzing things, and crucially, keep your emotions completely out of it.
That sounds hard. The process they lay out, it sounds almost like meditative.
Yeah.
3 steps.
Yeah, 3 really challenging steps. First, you got to clear your mind completely, no distractions, just pure focus on, well, natural reaction, being totally present.
Okay, step 1, Zen mode. What's next?
Step 2 involves breaking your limits, shattering what they call your self-limitation shell, and that usually needs a serious trigger. Like, resisting an incredibly powerful attack, pushing yourself to the absolute brink. Or maybe it could be the result of just decades and decades of intense martial arts focus finally culminating.
Okay, so extreme pressure or extreme discipline. And the third step, you said that's the hardest.
Right, because you have to combine those first 2 things, the clear mind, the broken limits, without letting your emotions or your analytical brain jump back in. Keeping that perfect clarity and emotional control while pushing your body past its normal boundaries, that's the real hurdle.
Okay, that explains something. Why attacking is harder than dodging in this state.
Exactly. Dodging, blocking that can be pure reflex. But attacking, fighters train to think about attacks, find openings, plan combos.
Right, you strategize.
Yeah, and that conscious thought, that planning, it sends conflicting signals. Your brain is trying to direct while the body is supposed to be moving on pure instinct. It messes with the whole thing.
That makes perfect sense. The moment you think, okay, punch here, you've broken the flow, and this need for emotional calm and no analysis, that explains why guys like Vegeta, who are super analytical or, kind of moody,
struggle with it. Yeah, the sources suggest they might be fundamentally unsuited for this specific path.
And the gods of destruction, too. You mentioned Beerus struggles, but they can't master it either.
Seems like it. Their nature, tied to destruction, maybe involves too much intent or emotion. So instead, they develop something else, ultra ego.
Ultra ego.
Yeah, which the sources basically describe as the opposite. It lets the body move freely based on the user's impulses, their drive, their aggression, rather than the body moving purely on its own instinct, detached from those things.
Wow. It's cool, though, how this ties back to real-world stuff. Like Mushin, the empty mind idea in martial arts.
Absolutely. That concept of reacting without conscious thought, it really grounds Ultra Instinct, even in this fantastical setting. It suggests that peak mastery, even here, needs deep mental discipline.
Okay, so given how insanely hard this is,
Yeah.
the list of people who actually pull it off must be, well, pretty short. Who are we talking about? And, like, how good are they at it?
Very short list, yeah. The sources point to the angels, Whis, the Grand Minister, as the prime examples. For them, it's just natural. Perfected Ultra Instinct is their default state.
Oh, he's on.
Pretty much. Their bodies just are in that state of instant reaction.
And Goku, obviously. He gets there, perfected user. But after a lot of struggle and training, right?
Oh yeah, huge struggle. The sources also list Moro, the Planet Eater guy, and the Future Warrior as achieving the perfected state too.
Okay. Any others? Imperfect users.
Well, beyond the perfect users, you have people who are imperfect, like Virus is mentioned. Or, interestingly, those who tap into the principles behind it even if they don't have the full transformation.
And that's where we get Master Roshi. Seriously.
Seriously, that detail is amazing, right? Here's this, relatively frail, old guy, power-wise.
Compared to the others, yeah.
But through centuries of pure martial arts skill and, crucially, a clear mind in combat, he developed this way of automatically dodging. It was so good, Virus apparently mistook it for actual Ultra Instinct at first.
No way.
Yeah, and Whis apparently said Roshi was the closest mortal to understanding it back then, even though Roshi himself didn't even know what Ultra Instinct was.
That's incredible. It really shows it's not just about power level.
Exactly. It's about the fundamentals, the mindset, and even among those who reach the perfected state, the sources are clear. There are levels. Big levels.
But perfected isn't the end goal, necessarily.
It's described as just the initial path to peak efficiency. Goku's perfected UI, they call it the bare minimum accuracy for the state.
They are minimal. Wow.
Yeah. Moro, who basically copied it, was about equal to Goku initially. But then you see Whis has way better mastery than Maris, the angel who trained Goku. And the Grand Minister, even better than Whis.
So the ceiling is just way up there.
Incredibly high. And it also highlights the danger of trying to cheat the system. Like Moro just copying the ability without the proper divine training, the mental foundation. His body couldn't handle it, started breaking down under the strain because he lacked that inherent control. You need the mental discipline to back it up.
Okay, you mentioned different levels earlier. Let's get clear on that. There's Ultra Instinct sign, or Omen, right? And then the perfected version. What's the difference?
Right, so UI sign is like the incomplete version. It often pops up subconsciously, usually under extreme stress or danger.
Like a defense mechanism kicks in?
Sort of, yeah. But for mortals, without that deep divine training, the sources say it's really unstable. Big drawback. Time limit.
A time limit. What happens?
Well, the anime shows it causing, severe pain, body breakdown, passing out, maybe even death. The manga notes it more as just wearing the user out incredibly badly. Either way, not sustainable.
And we talked about attacking being hard. That's especially true for Sign, right?
Definitely. Trying to consciously attack while in Sign often just fails because your thoughts interfere with the body's automatic movements. It's primarily defensive at that stage.
Okay, so then perfected Ultra Instinct, that's the finished product.
That's the completed form, yeah. Once someone gets the right training, they can access it consciously. Full control, offense, defense, the whole package.
And the dangerous side effects, are they gone?
Mostly lessened, yeah. Once you can access it at will, the risk of your body just breaking down seems to go away. But the sources do mention that even in the perfected state, there can still be a time limit on its accuracy if a fight drags on too long.
Ah, okay, so it's not quite an I win button then.
Yeah.
Still has limitations.
Oh, absolutely. The sources are kind of funny about it. Notes it won't save you from, stepping on dog poop or getting bitten unexpectedly.
Right, so it's for combat, not clumsiness.
Exactly. And crucially, someone with just overwhelming raw power, or, more importantly, someone with an even better mastery of UI than you, they can still potentially get through your defenses. Even really focused attacks, like that granola guy's I-beam, could potentially break through if the user isn't careful. And yeah, the accuracy can definitely drop over a long, tough fight.
But there was something else mentioned. Using the principles without transforming. Like Goku can do it normally.
Yeah, that's a really interesting development. He's shown he can tap into that automatic movement, that instinctual dodging, even in his base form. Sometimes he needs to close his eyes to really focus and let it happen, but...
Why is that significant?
Well, potentially, It means he could use the defensive perks of UI without the massive stamina cost that comes with a full silver-haired transformation.
More sustainable.
Could be.
Getting
And
me?
even weirder, the sources note that using Ultra Instinct while also using Super Saiyan forms can actually somehow increase the accuracy of the UI movements.
Mixing them makes it better. That seems counterintuitive.
It does, right, given the whole calm mind thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently the power boost helps refine the instinctual movement somehow in battle. It's complex stuff.
Okay, let's pull back a bit. How does Ultra Instinct fit into Goku's whole story? His journey, it feels like more than just the next transformation.
Oh, absolutely. The sources frame it as like the ultimate ascension for him so far, the latest step in his unending ascent, as they put it.
Unending ascent, I like that.
Yeah, and it makes sense. You look back, he didn't just stumble into this. His whole life built towards it. Started as this kid prodigy, right? But his foundation was pure martial arts discipline, mind-body connection, learned from guys like Grandpa Gohan and Master Roshi.
The fundamentals.
Exactly. Then you get the Super Saiyan forms, 1, 2, 3. Those were mostly about raw emotion, right? Rage, determination, just shattering limits through sheer force and feeling. Huge power boosts.
Explosions of power, yeah.
Then came God Ki, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. That was a different kind of shift. Not just more power, but a different type of energy. Divine energy allowed him to fight on a whole new level, but with more control this time, more refinement than the wilder SSJ forms.
So control divine power was like a stepping stone.
Seems like a crucial one, yeah. And then Ultra Instinct, especially how it emerged in the Tournament of Power. That felt like the final breakthrough. Moving beyond conscious thought, beyond relying on just power or even controlled energy, into pure, perfect reflex.
Letting go of everything else.
Right, letting go of the analysis, the emotion, the very things that fueled some of his earlier forms. It's like the ultimate fusion of his physical training, his decades of mental discipline, and that God Kai training. It all came together to reach the state where reaction is perfect because thought is absent.
So, okay, wrapping this up, for you listening, what's the big takeaway here? Why should we care about autonomous Ultra Instinct beyond it being a, super cool anime power?
Well, like we said, it's way more than just another power level. The sources really paint it as this extreme state of mind-body unity. It's about achieving that perfect flow state where action is instant because conscious thought, with its delays, is just gone.
And for Goku's character, what does it say about him?
I think it speaks volumes about his relentless drive for self-improvement. Not just getting stronger, but getting better at fighting, fundamentally changing his approach. It's a shift towards pure instinct, driven by, his love of challenge and protecting people.
It's like a divine reflex, almost.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. The sources frame it as the absolute pinnacle of martial arts mastery in that universe.
So we've taken a pretty deep dive today into autonomous Ultra Instinct. We looked at what it actually is, why it's so incredibly difficult to get, the very few who manage it.
It's surprising limits, too, and yeah, where it fits in Goku's whole martial arts evolution.
It's this fascinating paradox, isn't it? You have to consciously let go of control to gain the ultimate form of control. Act without thinking to achieve perfect action.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe something for you to think about. In your own life, whatever you're pursuing, sports, music, coding, writing, even just navigating a difficult conversation, where might letting go of that constant overthinking, trusting your gut, letting that flow state take over, where might that help you reach another level? What does your own mastery of self-movement look like, outside of cosmic battles?
Good question. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.